Hey friends, happy Wednesday. Wow, this is a heavy one, and I almost thought about coming to you at midnight last night because it would be officially Wednesday, and it was pretty heavy on my mind. I don't think I slept super well last night. I don't feel like I did, but this is an important topic that we need to actually revisit. We have visited with this topic before. So you might even get a double dose of me today because I'm actually going to work with my friend Kara, who runs Going Beyond the Pink and is the reason I got to experience what I did last night. And we're going to talk a little bit about prevention. It's Cancer Prevention Month, so we're going to talk about prevention in the personal care lane specifically because that's my normal wheelhouse. But those of you that know me know, like, once you know, you can't unknow. So I started digging into a lot of other areas and I found some really surprising things. So you may recall a while back that I watched a documentary on Netflix that you can all take advantage of, and I highly, 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 highly recommend that you watch it. It's called The Devil We Know, and it's the story of a situation in Parkersburg, West Virginia, that is still suffering today, and much like many other communities, it is nearby a DuPont plant. And for years and years and years, DuPont had been creating, they actually created a man-made chemical called C8, and it was used primarily in their Teflon and flame retardant products because it basically repels water. It was first used on tanks to coat tanks in the war. And they thought, oh, wow, this works really well for that. We could use it on household items too. So it is found in everything from carpeting that has, flame retardants in it, furniture, clothing. If you Scotch guarded ever a jacket to go skiing and your snow pants, probably all of that has it in there. Your pots and pans that are nonstick or any baking nonstick surfaces. Even some personal care can contain these items. And more importantly, now all of us contain these items, and this forever chemical is what they call it. It is in the bloodstream now of 99% of humans and found in almost every living thing. Most of it has been because of runoff and dumping and landfills, and it gets into the water system. That's kind of what happened in the story in Parkersburg. And sadly, like I said, the repercussions are going on and on and on today. So last night, I had the absolute pleasure of attending a screening of a new theatrical film starring Mark Ruffalo called Dark Waters. And it is the storytelling version of what happened in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And Mark plays Rob Vallat, which is the lawyer that ironically worked for a firm that were focused on the defendants, and their defendants were chemical companies. So that his normal job was always like supporting the chemical companies and getting them off the hook for different things. And his grandmother, he's from the Parkersburg area, and a farmer there reached out to him, and that's kind of how the whole story unfolded, sharing with him what was going on his farm because he lost almost 200 cattle for extremely rare issues and knew something was not right and something was going on. So the ironic part about all of this, and it really actually gets me choked up a little bit to think about this, but many of you know I was born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware, which is a humongous DuPont, DuPont area. My husband and I, when we bought our first house, we actually lived up the hill from the Edgemore plant in DuPont. My dad was a DuPonter. And I just think now and think about all the different things that we've come in contact to. Many of you may or may not know that Ella wouldn't have been our first baby. We had a miscarriage at about 16 weeks before I had her. I also had another one in between Ella and Luke. And I mean, I'm, not saying that that is directly correlated with this, but there are a lot of people that are getting sicker and experiencing a ton of health issues around things like this. And quite frankly, the cancer rates are going in the wrong direction. The technology we have, the treatment we have, they shouldn't be getting worse, and they are. So tons of actual research. There was a human study done. It's the largest study to date that came as a result of this experience in Parkersburg. And they actually had 69,000 people participate that lived in that community and actually gave blood. They paid them to do it. It was out of a first round of settlement that they won for suing DuPont. And they used the money to actually get people to donate their blood so they could test it and see what was going on. So each individual, man, woman, and child, was paid $400 just to give blood. It was right before the holidays, so people took advantage of it, even though they didn't believe that there was going to be anything wrong with it, because the community, many of them worked for DuPont. They, they had a strong presence in the community. They supported the baseball team and the community center, all the things. I mean, basically, you all know, especially those of you that are watching from the Delaware area. I mean, DuPont is a reputable company. It's been around forever, and people sort of revere it and believe that what they're doing is making life better. And so it took literally 7 years to analyze all of that blood. But what they found, it was linked to 6 different diseases: testicular and kidney cancer, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease. I mean, how many of you watching know somebody that has thyroid? I'm hypothyroid, and almost my whole family is, male and female. Preeclampsia, high cholesterol, which also directly correlates with heart disease and heart attack. And then these forever chemicals, PFOA and PFOS, what they're kind of referred to, they also are linked to low weight and birth defects in newborn children. So it's so many things that this, can be tied to, and the people in these communities are still seeing that. And unfortunately, we here are also experiencing this. There was actually a little girl that's a friend of a friend that attended last night, and she had kidney cancer. She's probably about 11 years old, and I don't know if you know about kidney cancer, but one of the ironic things is, it's your kidneys. You need to flush them out, right? So her best medicine is to drink a lot of water. And so the question that she has is, can I really? Is the water here safe? Because how the story has unfolded, they stopped manufacturing C8, which is this version of this chemical used in Teflon and is the subject of the movie The Devil We Know and Dark Waters. The plant actually reopened under the name Chemours in the Fayetteville area, which is just up the Cape Fear River from us here. And it's been 2 or 3 years now. We actually, it was discovered that we have what's called Gen X in our water supply here through the Cape Fear River. So we have all been drinking water that's contaminated as well. And probably, again, most of us in the country, because of how it stays in our system and is kind of everywhere at this point. We found it's called Gen X, and basically it's just the replacement chemical for C8. Everybody's back to square one. Oh, it's safe is what they're saying. But early studies have already shown that in rat samples, it's doing the same, if not worse, effects on the rats. The rats have tumors, they have cancer, all kinds of issues are showing up in early studies already. So we've only just replaced it with another harmful chemical. It's similar to, we all think of now, when we're using plastics, right? We should have BPA-free plastics. Same thing. They're just replacing it with another chemical that we don't know the effects of, that's not regulated yet by the EPA, because that's what happens. They come up with something new, and it takes years and years to actually get it regulated, and the companies are doing self-regulation. It's the same thing you guys hear me talking about in the personal care industry and so many other lanes. Like, this is happening. So, all that to say, what can you do about this? Why do I need your help? Like, I'm with you. I throw out my hands and it's like, oh my gosh, something's going to kill us no matter what. Like, we're all dying. Like, what can we do? But I don't think that's the answer. I don't believe that in my heart. And one of the reviews, I'll put the link in the little trailer from last night that you can see, because we had the privilege of having Mark Ruffalo attend in Wilmington last night, and he spoke to us about why he made the movie, and we heard from some local folks as well. The message really from that was, even one person, like this one guy, this one lawyer that believed in this and took the time to go through literally rooms of documents to figure out what was causing these people to get sick. One person had such a significant impact on this and is bringing awareness to this now. So I encourage you all to do the same. So that's the first thing, awareness. I'm going to give you 3 A's to focus on. Awareness is the first one. So like this, share this, tag people in it. You know, I'm going to put a bunch of links in the comments for resources. Share whatever speaks to you, but post it and share it with people. Awareness is the first step. People don't know that this is happening. So we have to fight for you and your family and everybody else that doesn't even know that this is an issue. Ooh, sorry. It's very emotional. Second is avoidance. Avoid products that contain this. PFOA, PFOS. It's things like Teflon, nonstick pans. Don't donate them, throw them away. Scotch Guard, flame retardant clothing and furniture, and like I said, even personal care. Make sure you're using only the safest products that are out there. That's the second thing. You can make a change like that without, it doesn't cost you a cent to do that. Just avoid these things. And then the third is act. Contact your representatives. Send a quick email, a letter. They have really simple forms on their websites to do this and say, like, you know, you need to pay attention to this issue. This water is no political, religious, race. It doesn't make a difference. We all need water to survive. And so it's a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter. We need to get them paying attention to this stuff before it's too late. And vote with your dollars. Avoid the companies that produce these kind of products and buy from companies that are doing the right thing and doing right by people, planet, and profit. B Corps is a great example of companies that are looking out for not only the people they serve, but also the environment. So thanks for hanging in with me today. I know it's a little bit longer, but this is such an important topic and important content. And whether you're in Parkersburg or Wilmington or New York or any of these other places that we've heard about maybe in the news or you haven't heard about yet, folks, it's everywhere. This is not just a third world country issue. This is an issue right here and now. We do not have clean water that we should be bathing in, that we should be giving our children. This is why we fight and think about, you know, is it safe for your kids? Would you give your kids this water? You probably wouldn't. So let's focus on how we can do our part to help make a change and make a difference. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll spread the word.